Hello and welcome to my next Mega Man game from Mega Man X collection, Mega Man X3. So, in this case, I just did a little bit of preparation beforehand, not just look it up. I actually tried to play it a few times and get the pattern myself, and we'll see what we get. I'm gonna let the cutscenes play and everything, so... on the Super Nintendo, these cutscenes didn't happen. I'm pretty sure it's because it was ported from the PlayStation to the Mega Man X collection. The PlayStation had these cutscenes in. And each boss has his own cutscene. I guess this is more of a recap from X1 and X2. From as far as I can tell, it's most likely a recap, as I said, from X1, X2, because this launch octopus from X1, the highway from introduction stage, this part from X2. And obviously the X-Hunters guarding the entrance. X1 armor. As I said, it's a recap of both games and moving towards X3. So we got X1 Sigma, X2 armor now, and X2 Sigma to go along with it. And now introducing X3. Alright, with that out of the way, let's move on. Mega Man X3. The third game of Mega Man X collection. So, what I noticed at first, between the Super Nintendo and the version in Mega Man X Collection, there is a slight difference in every music so far. The charge shot sound is also changed. Pretty much everything is a little different, I could say. Let's just go ahead and trigger this cutscene. Ah, yes, it's Dr.Doppler this time. Haven't mentioned it yet, but Dr.Doppler is currently taking the place of Sigma and have 8 bosses like usual. And biggest reveal, you play as Zero. With his Z Saber. Obviously I'm not doing a very good job, but whatever. I have health to spare. So yeah, big change from X1 and X2. You can now play with Zero, because in X1 he dies and X2 you rebuild him. And just a little mini boss, super easy to deal with. Just combo him to death. And back to X. So, in the 8 stages, you can now call Zero to take the place of Mega Man. But Mega Man is the only, or X I should say, is the only one that can pick up hearts and tanks. Maybe not the tanks, but X is the only one capable of picking up tanks, and obviously the armor parts. So this guy, he just smashes the roof. So no big deal, more hits than in X2, but you know, only does one hit of damage, I guess. Nothing to see here, just breaks apart. And Zero. The only time X will be taller than Zero. If you make him smash the roof wide enough, Zero will be lower than X. Alright, as I said, I've been practicing a little bit, so let's get started. So first one on the list is Blizzard Buffalo. From this guy, I'm gonna be able to get my first sub tank and the leg part. As I said, each boss has now has one cutscene instead of the original, the normal way they're presented in X1 and X2. Obviously, the X3 on Super Nintendo have that feature like normal, but it was changed on the PlayStation. Something else that's different in this version, in this game, compared to 1 and 2, there are ride armors now. You can collect chips to summon the ride armor corresponding to that chip. So that's another thing I need to collect. These rooms, they are... The room I went through, just like the X Hunter, they are for special enemies. There's actually 2 of them this time compared to 3. There is a total of 3, but the third one you have to access his stage differently. And I think I'll avoid him until I get 2 or 3 armor parts and at least 2 sub tanks. But I'm getting this sub tank now. It seems high and with the ledge. But as soon as I get the leg part, which is in the same area, I can access it, so... I think it's set to change to 0 to have a better jump. Okay, I can't even shoot when I'm frozen. I can also try and break what's causing the storm to help me out a little bit. Back and try it again. Fail it as well, I guess. Okay, let's hope we do not spend 10 minutes doing this jump. Like this. Okay. So here's the leg upgrades for X. So just like in X2, if I don't dash from the ground, I can do a dash in the air with these boots. With one twist, I can go up. So, now that I can go up with the boots, I can use this mobility to get the sub-tank. And try not mess everything up. Okay, can I like not be so bad? So I should probably do it from here. It's easier to do it from here. Obviously these guys keep respawning. Okay. Ah, there we go. So now I have the sub-tank and the leg upgrade. I just need to beat the boss now and exit the stage. So a nice little upgrade to have. It's gonna help a lot against some bosses, especially, as I said, the third boss, the third enemy I can get to. And speaking of boss, here's the first one, Blizzard Buffalo. So this little guy here is our first enemy. Very small. As I said, you can use a dash on him. I'm pretty sure I can just jump over, but this gives me a little bit more time in the air. Here's the other thing this guy does. He throws ice blocks at me. And does a lot of damage. Obviously he does do a lot of damage and everything, but it's not like he's super hard to defeat. Every time he doesn't hit the wall actually is when he does normally he launches the ice. Or not, I guess. Okay, maybe it's this time he does his laser thing. Nope, he's still charging at me. Okay, actually he never did his ice beam, I guess. He just shoots a giant laser across the room, doesn't do any damage, but prevents me from jumping by displaying little snowflakes on X, and then he dashed to damage me. I think it even stops me from using my dash. And here is his weapon. Frost shield. It is not a shield until you charge it, otherwise it's just a normal projectile. Alright. So first sub-tank, leg part, and first boss defeated. Next boss on the list is Tunnel Rhino. From this guy I can only get the sub-tank though. So here's his intro. Tunnel Rhino. So just like in X2, you don't see the extra enemies. In this game they're called Bit and Bite. There's these doors as well. As I said, they will appear in the rooms stages. So for this, I actually need a little backtracking later on. One of the bosses will give me a weapon I can charge to make these boulders fall, but right now I don't have access to it, and I just took a bunch of damage. So subtank's really easy to get. You just jump here. These guys. This is to charge weapons. As I said, this is the room for the, as I said, new enemies, just like the X Hunters. And it just keeps going for now. Another door, kind of, just prevents me from moving. I could just jump over this guy, but just trying to get the health. Speaking of health, so that was all. That was everything we collect from this guy. There's another place where I can use the same thing to get a power up, which is right here, which I think is the armor upgrade. No, it's actually the helmet upgrade. So later, when I can get the boss weapon that lets me do it, I'll come back and get the helmet. First, let's just defeat this guy. Nothing to see here, just jump up. If you stay on the wall for too long, he'll actually grab onto the ceiling and do a slightly different pattern. The bottom part will still charge at me, but he'll actually throw his arm at me, making it harder to dodge the bottom. Okay, he's going down. This one, compared to the first room, every room where the enemies arrive, either bit or bite. I think normally it's bit first and bite next. Compared to those rooms, those were the where you can fight the half those and I can fight bit and bite. Sorry. There's always a checkpoint there. This one is not a checkpoint, so if I die here, I have to go back and fight this guy again. But I'm not planning on dying, so let's just get to the boss. So if I don't hold a dash, I don't go all the way up. Okay, so here's the boss. So Tunnel Rhino, slightly similar to Buffalo Blizzard in his way of attacking, because he basically just charges at you and hit the wall. Sometimes he will let out drills. Okay, he's not actually hitting the wall for some reason. Sometimes he will just shoot a drill to try and get me. If I don't land far enough behind him, hopefully he'll do it so I can show it. Okay, this charge I cannot damage him while he does it, and he is this color, and he's not shooting any drills apparently. So he's going down without showing me half his pattern. Okay. So normally he just shoots a drill that turns into 3. Takes about the same height as he does, and they start moving after his charge. So if you're just barely jumping over the boss, you're gonna get hit by the drills. But with the dash boost like I did, you usually avoid it. So here's Dr.Doppler and Sigma. And here are the two extra enemies. Bit and Bite. So these are the guys I'm gonna fight in those empty rooms. And here is the other enemy I can take on. So to access his level, actually you need to use a teleporter. I guess the only thing it gives me to beat him in his stage is that I don't have to defeat him later on. I'm pretty sure that's the only difference. So if I defeat him now, I don't have to defeat him later. When I get to Dr. Doppler's stages. Anyway, moving on, the next enemy on the list is... which one is he? He's called... Oh, Neon Tiger. I read the wrong one. So, this guy. Because I defeated Tunnel Rhino, I can actually get everything from his stage. Also fairly easy pattern, if you know what you're doing. He's not gonna be like Buffalo and Rhino, of course. He's not just gonna charge at me, although he does have one attack when he can. One way to skip his stage is this, but I actually need to get to the other end. Now, yes, about these bugs that are flying. They are flying platforms for me, but they will also shoot bombs as soon as I fire as well. So if I start shooting at this guy, you can see them throwing bombs. And as I said, they are platforms as well. So I'm just gonna go to the left. Because there's a few of these guys around. And I'll just do this. At the end of this part, I'll be able to get the next armor upgrade, which is the Buster upgrade this time, using Tunnel Rhino. This one. Just this guy first. So if you break this block, you have access to Tunnel Rhino, to this armor upgrade. Now, I'm not a big fan of the arm upgrade in this game. I did prefer the one from X2, the double shot from X2, rather than the double shot from here. It was kind of a bit hard to plan out attacking with both charges sometimes. There's already a little delay when you shoot the second shot. But it's as strong as a fully charged shot, so I can at least use them separately. Now I think this is this stage mini boss, yeah, a centipede. So I can only move on when I defeat him, and it also gives me my checkpoint. More annoying than difficult. Just drops bombs every time he pops up from the ground. Usually goes back from the middle. And then go back down from the sides. I can destroy these bombs, and I don't have to only avoid them, but I usually just avoid them. Should be close to being dealt with. There we go. He said not super hard, more annoying, I guess. As As I said, what I don't like about the upgraded shot is that it actually stops you if you're not mid-air. Stops you from moving compared to the yellow one, the regular charge shot. This stage doesn't have any rooms for hit or bite. Yes, before I forget it. Wait, no. Okay, so it does have a room for bit, but I think yeah, because Blizzard Buffalo doesn't have. So there's a chance they'll be here or not. So it's not 100% of the time that they're gonna be here. In this case, he was not. So I can just move on. These guys create spikes. So I'm just gonna go to health. And the heart is actually over here, so you can land on the platform and dash, jump to it. Or just use the boots to go up. And here's a boss. So as I said, fairly easy pattern. I usually try and go for the, not for the full charge. So I can shoot him when he gets back. He guards in those cases if I try to shoot him like this. If I don't go toward the middle, he has a chance of dropping down and attacking me. So I don't really like when he does that pattern, but then he goes back to the ground. So he always fires his weapon the same way. So you have to jump above the third shot and then just stick to the ground. And he has a change to his pattern he can do here. If he charge, yeah, he does that. And you cannot hit him while he does that. So if he only does that, then I can damage him. I have to wait for him to do something else. Like this. As I said, not too hard, but you kind of have to know what you're doing against these bosses. So I was expecting to fight that this time, but I guess that means he's gonna be in the next level. And here is his weapon. The weapon from Neon Tiger. It actually is Vile's weakness. But as I usually do, I'm gonna try and avoid using boss weaknesses against each other. Probably at the end, because I don't think there's a one-hit kill move in this case. Alright, so moving on to Blast Hornet. Now this guy, I can get two things. I can get the heart and the first right armor chip. So, time to take out Blast Hornet. And the heart and the right armor is actually everything you can get from his stage. Alright, before I forget, these armored missile launcher, there's an event at this stage that will change what they look like. I messed up. I think that's my last line actually, yeah. Maybe I should land it on the platform instead. This boss shouldn't be too hard, hopefully. Hopefully I can do the thing. First, wait, no, that's to call calling the armors is actually where I hit the right armors. I have to use a platform when I get the required ship for the armor. I'm probably gonna fight. Wait, no, that's actually the stage mini boss. This hologram thing. So you just have to shoot it before it reaches you, so that it goes over. And then it's dodging it. And then he's gonna do this. You could jump over or try to dash under, but he's down. I think normally he goes back to rolling around. The first thing he did, and I shoot him to make him go up. So since I'm low on health, I think I'm gonna farm these little guys. They're purple. These enemies drop a lot of health. Like this. Okay, so to get the right armor, I also need Tunnel Rhino's weapon. Then I can go back to the Xbox trying to break this. So here is the first right armor, and I think this unlocks the platform to get the other armors. I think. Usually I can't seem to be able to use one unless I find this one, as far as I can tell. I find it a bit slow to jump. Here's a cutscene. So these robots will be charging crates, and if I break all of them, those are parts for the enemies I was talking about, the missile launchers. Currently they have homing missiles and grenade launcher on their back, and once this stage is done, since the part's gonna be delivered, the enemies will change. So that's something to look out for. Takes a moment. So obviously if you don't destroy all of these, then the enemies will not, change. I think the tank is also up here. No, it's the heart. Alright, I don't get the tank here, I just get the heart and the right armor chip. Here's the first enemy bit. So he's gonna have a fairly easy pattern, just dash at you. If you get hit by the ring, you can wear it off by trying to jump. It basically prevents you from jumping and moving. These are homing attacks. So he's gonna dash at where I currently am compared to him. So if I don't jump, he's gonna be at the ground level. If I jump, he's gonna be higher up. And as I said, I've been captured by those two. They basically stop me from moving. And he's down. So fairly easy. And here was the first encounter. The next one is Bite. He's a bit different. So I'm just gonna charge my shot because I know there's this guy. So right now they're not changed, but as I said, as soon as I leave the level, they'll be different. I think if I die, they're actually gonna be different. But I'm not sure about that, and I cannot afford to die, so here's a boss door. Blast Hornet. Just gonna charge this shot and go in. I might actually have to use one of my sub tanks. Fairly easy. I'll do a lot of damage like this, which is why I don't really like the second shot, because it takes a lot of time to get moving again when you use it. Normally it's best to have the armor when you fight him, and in this case I don't have it. This basically means that bees will target me. As I said, I'm gonna have to use a sub tank here because I cannot die. And he's down. So the first encounter is done, and this was the 4th enemy defeated. So now I can get his weapon, a bomb. Alright. With that done, guys, I hope you enjoyed my part 1 of Mega Man X3. And I'll see you all in the next part. See ya.